No. Okay. Hi. Alright, there we go. Okay, I don't understand how that happened, but it did! I'm glad I caught it. Hooray! Anyway, power went out. So, yeah, nothing really I could do about that. I'm sorry. Power totally just vanished. That just doesn't really happen. This thing here that says close. It says mirror close. I don't understand what that... I could either turn on a mirror or to close the menu. What if I do... But do I turn on my mirror to close it? No. Come on. Come on. You can close. I know it. I know you can. Eh. Okay, well that's kind of stuck, ain't it? I'm gonna assume this map hasn't been touched in quite a while. Benirius Manor. I'm not terribly familiar with this one. Oh, shoot! Oh, that's a wall. Ugh. Wait! No, wait. There's a wall. Stop! In the name of the law. No, but really, I'm stuck. Like, I can't move past this area. Like, you see that? You see that? I take a step forward and boom! Like, I'm out of my own body. This is challenging. Okay, we just gotta use our brains. We gotta think. How can I solve this? Maybe... Okay, hold on. Let me try this. Oh, got it! Got it. I got it. Alright, enough fooling around. Okay. Freedom! Free from the prison. The lighting here is pretty nice. It's very toasty. Anyway, since Minty's probably exhausted, we're probably not doing like Overwatch or anything tonight, plus he's got to eat. So, if he wants to, though, I guess he'll let me know. But I was honestly just thinking, I'll just hang out for like an hour, and then I need to charge my headset because I do have to play. I mean, I've got a friend that I want to meet with. So, and I want to make sure that my headset is charged. Do these have colliders? Is there an option for colliders? Okay, well, let's check. I'm gonna guess yes. Yes. Well, honestly, this place is kind of a mess. There's a broken pot, and even more alarming, there's a skeletal hand coming out of the broken pot, which doesn't necessarily bode very well. But as long as I don't find any more skeletal pieces in this house, I'm probably fine. I mean, I really do wish there was somewhere I could, like, actually sit down. Maybe the... I recall the bed having colliders, so... I don't know. Open Sesame! Okay, that's not... Open Sesame. Turns out you gotta grab a door by the handle. The nerve. Oh, this is pretty nice. This is a good eating area, you know? It's amazing how much light the chandelier is putting out, though, considering that we've got 2 open windows, one over there, one over here, and I think most of the light is being emitted by the chandelier with like a whopping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 candles. It's just so bright. Things are I am like going Super Saiyan. I didn't know the house came with food, but it looks like we've got some carrots and bread. Healthy. Goblets and everything. Oh, over by you, there's a door. This probably just leads to like some kind of pantry or something. Or like a closet full of bodies. Who knows? I don't see any skeletons. It's very cozy. Wow. There's a staircase here. And also a very nice window. Look at this thing. Got some good light coming from there. This pillar makes for something great to hold on to when you're like you slide, like you're gonna want to get some momentum going down the stairs or up the stairs. I think what's really interesting about this area is that it's got kind of like an outdoors balcony feel. You know, you got a balcony that just overlooks the house. It's kind of a limited space for viewing, but it's better than nothing. Okay, so there's a door here. Does it open? Yay! Okay, so up here, we've got some scales. If you're like a Lalu fan. Here's a bed, but again, like I said, bed has colliders. You know, I've got OVR, so it's not a big issue. But alrighty then. Come on. Oh. Interesting. This area looks like it might need some work. So here's another balcony overlooking the main room that I was in prior. So you know, you keep the indoor balcony feel, but this right here, this needs to be cleaned up. I mean, all the way up there. The lighting is also a little bit foreboding. Some nice tapestries. There's a door here, but I think that goes outside, so is non-accessible. Oh, too close. Too close. But yeah, as you can see, that leads down to the main area. So you've got a balcony here. You've got a balcony on the inside over there. Hold on, I'm gonna go close the door. Okay, and lastly, we've got this room over here. I'm guessing this probably leads to the balcony that we saw on the other side. I don't remember. Yep, there it is. Wow. Oh, hey, there's books in here. Got an hourglass, got some bush, got some food. Apple bread and a goblet. Again, I am glowing. The lighting here is so harsh. But here's that balcony. Now, as much as I wasn't a fan of the red lighting in the previous area, that section of the house definitely mirrors this side of the house, and not exactly, but at least in terms of a balcony. And the green lighting coming from the window definitely contrasts the red lighting, which kind of gives these portions of the house a completely separate and identifiable identity. But yeah, these are some, some unfriendly chairs. Here, you know what? Idea time. Yep. There we go. It's a little bit more accessible now. Also, you have some paintings on this side. Look at that, like Kelly Green. It's probably Nibinae trees. This would be a good place for, like, lore talks, you know? I don't know why it says controls tabs. Do you guys see that? It says controls tab. Like, I don't want that there. Is there a way to get rid of that? And why are there controls? Like, can I... Do I get a controls menu? No? Why does it say controls tab? Like, what, like, as if there's specific special controls. It's kind of weird. You know what? Maybe they explained that downstairs and I didn't see it properly. I don't know. Maybe I should have paid attention to that menu that I wanted to get rid of so badly. There's probably a lesson there, but I am not wise enough to learn it. Ugh. Okay. Yeah. Wow, I am twisty actually. Can I? No, I can't get less twisty right now. Yeah, I've been having a lot of audio issues for some reason. You know, that's why I was late to starting the VR chat portion that we did first. It's weird. I did something with my speakers and now it's like randomly muting projects. So certain apps are just completely muted and it's frustrating, you know, because it's like when sound doesn't come in, I think that like it's coming through the wrong speaker or something like that, and I realize, oh, it's muted for literally no reason, even though I didn't mute it. So I'm having to manually unmute certain apps, and not preferable. So it confused me. I'll admit, I should have checked it earlier. As soon as the sound didn't come through, I should have checked for the muting. It's a very, very simple fix, but no idea why it's happening. Literally, like, this doesn't do it justice. You know, the just being able to like film this house, because like I'm literally like I'm here, like I'm in this house. You know, like everything could not be more real than it is right now. It feels like it's pretty crazy. I mean, like it's a little bit frustrating because like as much as I love taking pictures and stuff in VR and streaming and whatnot, like it's amazing, but actually experiencing the VR, it's different, you know. It's something, I guess maybe it's like the depth, you know, that you get from like actually being there. It's different. Hello, Tails. Thank you. I wonder if Grace is online. Oh, hey. I don't know if she wants an invite, but hey, she's always saying to invite. So, I might as well. I have a pet redeem, but I don't think it would work here. What if I like, hold on, what if I put myself like right here? There, what if I did this? And then I did a pet redeem. Oh, close. I was close, pretty much. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There, that works. The chairs are so short in Oblivion. I never really understood what it is. Like they feel like they should be way longer. They're not like short in height, but like short in like how long they should be. Like they look more like they have more like stepladder rungs than seats. It's like someone should make these a little bit bigger. You know? Even if they didn't have colliders, I would have a hard time sitting in them. Did I fix that issue yet with it being gone? Yes, I did actually. What I did was after the stream, I went and instead of installing the previous version of the app, I instead installed the newest version of the app, and it automatically already had all my stuff plugged in, and so I basically didn't even need to do anything. And I think it looks even better. It looks more crisp. So yeah, I fixed it. Oh, Mari's online. Craze is on. You think she's gonna find me? I'm upstairs. I'm in the upstairs. I'm sure she's also watching. I don't know why the power went out, by the way, because like this is my like second stream tonight. I just don't know why it broke. The power just went. Pew! Hello. Oh my god. You're a lot taller than I thought you'd be. Hello. Okay, say something. Jesus.
Hello.
Okay, hi. Good lord. Just scared the life out of me.
Oh, you're fine. You'll be okay.
You like took up the entire doorway. Just like creak. Also, the fact that you're like just stiff made it even scarier. Like it just opened because it was scared of you. That's what it looked like.
Totally.
Yeah. Tail says you look like Pomni, but different.
I look like Pomni. That's a new one. I'll
But
give you
different. Different Pomni
Hold
AU.
Oh, Jesus. I gotta send a message to someone who's... I sent them a boop, and now they're like, I need that. Give me that emoji. I need it. Now I'm gonna send them an evil laugh. They can't get it.
An evil laugh.
Is. Because if she wants the emoji, I have to be in the world with her to give it, and I'm chilling here right now. So
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you can share your boop things with people.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Actually, here, I'll show you an example. Where is... Been a moment since I've done it, but you can do it. Like... Oh, that's stickers. I don't want stickers. For example... Boom. Right there. Like, see?
Oh, that's what that is. Oh,
well, some people, you can also share groups and such that way as well. But that's
I was wondering what that was. Interesting.
Yeah.
Ow. My legs made a snappy sound.
That's how you share some stuff. You can drop a pedestal with whatever it is you're trying to share in the world.
Okay, okay. The future is amazing. It's amazing how much shorter I got on my birthday.
Apparently, you shrinky danked.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be the size of over the size of the doorways too.
Mm-hmm.
It was getting kind of hard to fit in rooms.
Yeah, that does be a problem.
Where did my desktop go? There it is. There it is, there it is. Anyway, so we went to the mall, and, you know, I looked around a lot, but I never seem to ever actually buy anything. I don't know. It's just very rare for me to buy anything. I almost did. Like, we went there, and, we went to the GameStop, and they were doing a sale, like, 2 shirts for $25, and I was like, that's a pretty good deal. So I was looking at the shirts, and I found one of those really nice button-up shirts with the thin material that I really like nowadays. Basically Hawaiian shirts. And
I was gonna say your Hawaiian shirts.
It was covered in Venusaur from Pokemon, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I want to have that. So I got that, and then I thought,
buy it?
Well, I got it, and then I was looking for a second shirt, and I thought, well, we could get like Minty a shirt or something. So we were looking for one, and when we found one and brought it to the counter, the guy was like, the button-up shirts don't count for the deal. And I'm like, why do you have it in the deal area?
That's a good point.
Well, the sign did say T-shirts in small print, so it got me. I was like, it had to be a T-shirt, couldn't be a button-up. And at that point, I was just kind of like, well, I didn't really see any T-shirts I wanted. They did have an Oblivion one, though, that had the Oblivion Remastered logo on it.
Yeah.
But it was a black T-shirt, and I've got enough of those, and it's like I didn't really need it, so I elected just not to get any shirts. You know, The dragon does control the camera. Yes, I am in complete control of the camera.
I was just gonna say, watching, like I'm tabbed into the thing for a quick second because I was curious, and I was like, God damn, I look tall. Holy
You
shit.
are just, I mean, you know, you were basically touching the ceiling, basically. So, you know, that's,
Basically.
yeah, you're very lanky.
Wow, you're calling me lanky. Like you have any room to talk, lanky boy.
Lanky. Okay. I
You
mean,
lanky.
if you insist. So
Squeaks audibly.
it's coincidentally. So we didn't we didn't buy anything. Well, we did buy a keychain for Minty. But then we went around other places, you know, Hot Topic, Box Lunch, other stores that kind of sell like nerd stuff because I'm a nerd, and like there's a lot of
Who would have thunk it?
well, there's a lot of good stuff. But I sat there and just like, you know, I don't need any of these things. Oh, and I mean, there's so many shops that I've never seen before because I haven't been to that mall in maybe a year or two. And
Okay.
like there's a shop there that we've been going to since like forever, and it's just gone off the face of the
Ooh,
earth.
you missed it.
I mean, I didn't really need anything from there. I've only bought something from there once. It was called the Knife Shop, and they sold weapons. They sold swords, you know. So they had like, you know, they had all kinds of
weapon
swords.
shops. I get you.
So shields, swords, they had like, you know, shurikens and all that weeb stuff. And
Yeah, we have stuff like that in our mall.
yeah,
too.
I bought a katana in 2011 from there, and I've had it in my possession ever since.
Yes, you've told me about it
Yep.
a couple of times.
So yeah, I do own a katana, it's true. Arrest me. I mean,
I'll get
if I
right on that.
well, if I walked around with that, I'd get arrested because in Texas that's considered to be illegal.
Yes, because you live in the weird state.
Yeah, the state where it's like, hey,
Fine.
you want to carry around a gun? That's fine, but you carry around a katana? Nope, it's too dangerous.
Well, no, and it's even funnier to me because, like, my brother, funny enough, he actually got his hand injured because of a sword.
Oh yeah, that's
He
right. You
went to
told
a
me.
Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to a party and when he got in a fight with someone, they just whipped out a sword and he grabbed it with his bare hand like an idiot.
Yep. Yep.
And then didn't go to physical therapy, and now his hand's all jacked up.
Well, at least it wasn't a gun.
Well, yes, in some respects, yes.
It just baffles me. I mean, like, cause it's like people want to keep guns like in people's possessions because they're dangerous, right? It's like the gun, a gun is dangerous, so it protects you. Because the danger is the whole thing. If it's not dangerous, then it doesn't protect you, so you shouldn't have it. So that's their whole logic, right? So, but it's then they're like, oh, you can't have a katana because it's dangerous. But I'm like, okay, but what about it's dangerous, so it protects you? Whatever happened to that
gun?
logic?
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta make up your mind. Like, which is it? You know? I mean, like,
It's called selective danger.
I guess so.
Does the value of the sword danger outweigh the value of the gun danger? In some
Yeah,
people's
gun danger
eyes,
is way
no.
more. I mean, like within a 3-minute walk, there was a gun death here not too long ago, and it's like not a sword. Sword didn't do that.
No,
So-
no, it didn't.
I don't get it. It's a weird state. We got all of our priorities mixed up so bad.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's not really that I want to walk around with a sword. That's not the thing. It's, you know, it's because I have no reason to do that. But it's like there's a
Right.
reason why there's that double standard. You know, we can't act like there's not.
Right, of course. There's definitely a double standard in most things that life has, honestly. I could do a laundry list of double standards.
Yes. Yeah, we've been kind of talking about that lately.
Yeah. It's so like, I just seeing me on the thing and then seeing you just like talking to me is goofy looking.
Why?
Because it's you're just a little dragon, and then there's this
Small
creature.
creature.
It's funny.
Hold on. I did this earlier, but this is pretty funny. I want to do I'm gonna do a thingy with the camera that I like to call Oblivion dialogue. All right.
Oh, we're doing Oblivion dialogue now. Oh boy.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, here we go. You'll have to see it on the screen.
I am. I'm looking.
Halt! In the name of the law.
Gotta wait for the delay. Hold on. Oh, there it is. The Oblivion dialogue is so funny.
Especially when it just catches you completely off guard. You're just walking across the street or something, and a guy comes out of nowhere, and it's like, "Whoa, man, just back up!" Like, oh, social anxiety is kicking in.
In Oblivion, they do not know personal boundaries.
Obviously. No, it's all up in your face. But yeah, so what I do to pull off that effect is I activate my autofocus. You probably already know, but I activate my autofocus. I click on behavior. I click on look at me, and I instantly just shove the zoom a bunch forward, like to its maximum. And if you do that really, really fast, you just basically pull off the same effect as in the game.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure to like keep the camera looking away, and then behavior, look at me, and then fully zoom and turn around and look at the camera. or I guess better just look at the camera and then have it zoom. But it's still very fun. But having it on set autofocus.
Yeah,
what?
Oh, there. I gotta take some pictures later. But I'll do that later when I'm more alive, feeling.
Okay.
I gotta do some posing. I put
Pose.
Yes, I have funny poses on here. Because it's not Go-Go Loco's poses, it's a different posing system. Like, here, I'll show you an example. What's up?
Oh, a thoughtful pose.
Yeah. And then so like you toggle on that you want to do an upright pose, but then you use a dial wheel to do various poses. So like
all the stuff you're having to do now. Whoa, so many. Oh, there's a lot of those.
Yeah, little poses. Such. Like, ooh.
Oh. I saw. You're like, whoa. Praise the sun.
Goofy. Yes.
I saw a post today online that was like gamers saying 500 emotes isn't enough. We need more. And it just is like Minecrafters who have been using the same emote for 15 years, and they're just like.
I was gonna say, if they're real Minecrafters, they remember back in the day when there weren't emotes.
Well, yeah, Bedrock does have emotes, but me, I'm a Java bro. We ain't got nothing.
Well, you can mod.
Java
you can
bro.
mod emotes. But you're not one of those. You're not a modder.
I'm
You're
not
a
a
cool
modder.
kid. You're a basic kid.
What? I'm gonna get you.
You're basic.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
Ah!
You get bite my ankles.
Oh.
Yeah, that's so scary. Bite
Whoa.
my ankles.
I'm bouncing on the chair. I'm like barely holding on here. I'm scared to move.
Holding on by a wing and a prayer.
Yeah. I look like, on the camera, I look like I'm on solid ground or something, but I'm very much not. There we go.
Clearly not. You have like a spike in between your legs, and somehow you're just there.
So we wanted to, at the mall, the plan was after checking out all the stores and stuff and not buying anything, the plan was to go to the food court and get some food. The thing is, though, is that despite everyone saying that malls are dying, I have never seen that mall busier than it was that day in my life. It was so crazy. We couldn't even get into shops without having to wait for traffic to go by. And so the food court was no exception. It was stuffed to the brim. I mean, granted, yes, it was like 5:30 or closer to 6, so everyone's eating, but it was just like so full. And they also got rid of the Sonic. We were trying to figure out what we were going to eat. So
not Sonic.
Yeah,
Love
I mean, so
Sonic.
they had Panda Express, but we're gonna do Chinese for food on Sunday. So we were kind of
Yes,
at a
your
loss.
ritualistic eating habits.
Yes. So the idea was like we could. They suggested Cheesecake Factory because there's one like attached to the mall, right nearby. So we left the mall, went into Cheesecake Factory, and I was like, I've been once, and I was like, okay, well, I think they said they would pay, but so we got there, and Mom is very, very hungry. You know, I'm not terribly hungry, but Mom is like very, very hungry.
Is she hangry? She
she
one of those
didn't-
hangry type?
Not really. She's just really wanting to eat, you know, and blood sugar was low, and I know exactly how it is.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I get really low blood sugar, and it affects me. So, so we went into the Cheesecake Factory, and I remember, I was like, oh, I've been here before. I remember now, and it was so crazy full too. And I mean, granted, it was around dinner, but we asked them how long until we could get a table, and they said like it could be a 50-minute wait. Like
Oh,
a
God
50-minute
damn.
wait. And I was like, and since it's my birthday, everyone was like, you know, what are we gonna do? You know, because they're all like, what do you want to do? And
Oh, yes, the traditional thing that happens with your family. They look at you and they're like, what do we do?
yeah, I'm not too alien to the feeling, but they were like, what do we do? And you know, Mom's very, very hungry, and I'm like, I don't, you know, I'm also not wanting to spend all day here, so I was like, we could, you know, go another time. We'll just grab something fast, like a fast food. I don't necessarily need something fancy on my birthday as long as it's good. So instead we just left, and we were like, well, where do we want to go? And the first thing that came to my mind was just like, I don't know, Whataburger. I just was like, let's just go to a Whataburger somewhere, because I rarely go.
What the hell's that?
Oh, that's right, you're not Texan. That's right.
Obviously, I'm not Texan. I live in a cornfield. Duh.
You live in a cornfield. Whataburger is like the burger place of Texas. It is like, you know, if you're Texan,
Nah,
you've eaten
man.
at Whataburger, right? So
Hear me
It's-
out. Hear me out.
it's-
There's a better burger joint than whatever this Water Burger is.
you don't know any what a burger, like, oh, what a burger. It's not Waterburger.
Oh,
it's
it's-
what a burger.
Oh, it sounds like you're saying water.
It's just
That's
because
what
it's
my
our
brain keeps hearing.
it's our vernacular, so I say it quickly because I'm used to just like if I say Whataburger or whatever, someone, even if it sounds like Waterburger, a Texan will know what I'm saying because they're like, there is no restaurant called Waterburger.
There's no Water Burger.
No, not that I know of. There's probably a
It's
Waterburger
goofy.
somewhere. It doesn't really sound great to me, but so. Whataburger is a decent
A Krabby Patty.
place.
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, it's a burger. Krabby Patties are burgers.
No.
so-
No. Get it? Because Water Burger.
Oh, I get it. That's funny.
Krabby Patty.
I get it. I get it.
my lord.
Whataburger. I'm surprised. You know what? They've probably made a joke about that. The show's been going on for so long.
I would hope. It's really funny.
So we were trying to find one. We were like, well, there's one kind of nearby our house. So we decided just to, on the way home, we decided to snap it up and then went back. And well, we ate there, so it was pretty clean on the inside. So we just kind of sat down and enjoyed our foods, and we talked about
Yep, you enjoyed your Krabby Patties. That's good.
yes, we talked about ESO and how much Jared regrets introducing us to the game.
Yes, I'm sure he says that. Damn, he says it so often. I'm like, dude.
He's very
it.
serious about it. Like,
apparently, because I've heard him mention it multiple times.
He said he actively tries to think that maybe somehow he didn't convince me to play, and it was some other factor that convinced me. He's so ridden with guilt, his brain can't take it.
Clearly, so much guilt. Clearly,
it's like we play like it. Like when we play together, we play an hour. We play 1 hour over a weekend.
I know, but
we
he
play
makes
an hour
it sound
each.
like it's
That's
such
2 freaking hours.
I know, but that's my point. Is he makes it sound like it's such a horrible ordeal when it's really not, and he doesn't even play with you guys. So I don't know why he's bitching.
Not anymore. It's because it sounds like he like wants us to play something else, but it's like he wouldn't play with us anyway. Like when we play Minecraft, he just barely participates.
That's my point though, is he doesn't actually play with you guys. Like he'll, as you say, participate every once in a blue moon, but like overall, no, he just doesn't play with y'all. So I don't know why he's griping and bitching and moaning.
I think the implication is that if we played a different game, he'd want to play. Like, oh, we're playing Fallout 76, and he's like, okay, well, I'll join. But like, I mean, Jared even
test
floated
that theory one day. I'm curious.
Well, I think Jared floated the idea of like, he said, I wonder if Dad would be interested in VR chat. And all of us, Michaela, Mom, and I, we're all like, no, like no.
No.
I mean, like maybe he'd find it interesting. Here's something that I'll admit surprised me when I bought my slime VR trackers. Probably around, I got them I think around December or whatever. When I finally got these things, I needed help setting them up because I am dumb. So
yeah, your dad helped you, and he definitely sounded interested in them from what I heard.
He was really interested. That surprised me. Like he'd set them all up, and you know he made sure that the rig was all set up, and he helped me put the labels on, and he was interested in like seeing. He was just completely just enraptured by seeing the little stick figure preview move around because I was moving around. You know, he just really, I think he found the technology interesting because he's really into tech.
Yeah, from a technology standpoint, I can understand him being entertained by it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he finds that interesting. I don't know if you'd find VR chat interesting because you need stuff to do, and
well, I was gonna say with your dad, like, how do I explain? Would he? I guess the question would be, has he ever tried, like, one of your guys' headsets before? Like, would he be nauseous in one of those?
I can't say he's ever put one on. I think I've tried to get him to put them on because, you know, we've got several in the household, but he's never. I don't think he's ever actually tried. I just don't think he's interested in that. I think he's more of a game mechanics person.
Right, for sure. I don't exactly see. He doesn't strike me as the kind of fella that would be super into VR chat as a whole. Maybe as like this is some interesting new tech people are using or something like that. But as from a standpoint of actual gameplay, probably not.
Yeah, because like he needs something to do, and VR chat doesn't necessarily have that. I mean, the thing you do is chat. I think
it's a social platform disguised as a game.
We've tried to get him into Skyrim. I've been mentioning, you should play Skyrim, but every time I mention it to him, he's always saying the same thing. He's like, I've got ESO. I don't need Skyrim.
Fair.
It's like, okay. I mean, like, you know, this is fine. They're similar in a lot of aspects. So.
Right, but I mean, I understand the concept. Like, I was the same way. Like, I played a fuck ton of the other Elder Scrolls games, but then when ESO came out, I was just like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I don't need to replay these games I've played a bajillion times because I have ESO.
Yeah. I understand that. I mean, it is my favorite of the Elder Scrolls games. So
Fair.
I get it.
And overall, there's just a lot more to do, in just
Mhm.
speaking generally, than there is in like a normal Elder Scrolls game.
We started doing the Shio. Oh gosh, I accidentally sat down. That's horrifying. Okay, hold on. Oop. Sorry.
Yeah, you being goofy over there?
Apparently, I don't know why I'm up here. Okay, cool.
I don't know either. You just back
Okay.
up too much.
You know what? We'll do this. We started doing the Shio quests.
That's an interesting pose, but okay. No, you're still doing the pose, you ding dong.
No, I know. Hold on. My legs aren't broken, I promise you. Hold on.
No, I'm not saying they're broken. I'm just saying you look.
Ah.
It's just a funny pose
There we go.
because it's very dainty looking.
Yeah. It's my default.
Clearly.
So we started doing the Shio quests. And we've only done the first one.
Hold on. But before you get involved in this, my friend Star is like spamming the fuck out of me because she really wants this goddamn ticket.
Okay.
Let me see what is she? Oh, okay. All right. You gonna be okay while I give for this my little ticket collection?
You think it'll be quick?
I have no idea with Star. It could either go really quick because she'll be enamored with her boyfriend, or it could not be quick, depending.
I mean, I can't stop you.
Well, I know you can't stop me, but you can be like, hey, you can say no. You can be like, well, not like say no, but like you can just be like, hey, you could stay here and not do that, you know?
If she's spamming you, I don't think there's anything I can do.
You're a goofy creature.
I mean, you know, I don't want to be the reason why you're getting spammed messages. I'll probably be here for another, or at least in VR chat for another half hour.
Is your headset dying already?
No, but I want to make sure that I can charge it before 2:30 because I'm supposed to play VR chat with peoples.
Oh, with a walkie in them?
Mm-hmm. And obviously you're invited, but...
I was gonna say, I'm like, can I join?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can always join by default. But again, you don't like that.
I just like to make sure I don't like being rude, okay?
You're never... It's like... I mean, the only time I thought... Hold on.
Oh, you're dying.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm holding.
Yeah, just give me a moment.
Take your time.
Okay, I think it's clear. Okay,
Yeah.
the only time I thought, like, oh, I hope she doesn't join me, is when my headset's at like 2%, because I'm like, if you join me, I'm gonna suddenly lose battery, you know?
Yeah,
and then I'm just gonna like,
just gonna immediately die.
Yeah, and then I'll look bad. I'll be like, oh, he doesn't want to hang out with me.
Nah, you're fine. I would have probably just messaged you and be like, did you crash? And then you would have probably just explained, oh no, my battery died.
Yeah,
Been fine.
yeah. So that's the only time. But yeah, I don't know, if you want to go and deliver your delivery, send me an invite. But you know, it's like, it's possible that you might pop in close to when I'm done, but...
Okay, I gotcha. Well, either way, still nice seeing you, Bluebird.
Yes, I see you too. All the way up there.
Yeah.
These chairs are so freaking narrow, oh my god.
Alright. I'll be back, hopefully, we'll see.
Okay. Explosions. Oh, wait. There's no explosion. It's water. I forgot about it. It's water. Anyway, can I close this door? Is there... Come on. Come on. Okay. Okay, gonna push on it from this side. Come on. Let's go. No. Still not working. Still not budging. Okay. Idea. Here I go. I don't want to do it on... If I try this on the other side, then I'll get pushed out. Okay, here goes. Boom. Yeah. Why did I want to do that again? Okay. I wish I could play more Oblivion Remastered, but the issue I have with Oblivion Remastered is that it is not very optimized. At least that's what people say. My computer is decent, but it has a hard time playing it, and people say it's because it's not a very well optimized game. You know? It used to crash every time I played. Like, every time. Without fail. Like, I would like, go into a loading screen, and it would crash. And it would, like, never crash unless I was doing a loading screen. So that was definitely the culprit, right? It was, like, some kind of rendering error. Then I think they modified the rendering process to, like, work differently, and things started working a little bit better. It still crashes sometimes, but it's a little bit better, so I can play, but it's still not the best. Like, I feel like it could probably work better than it does. And then some people are really techie, and they're like, okay, you just got to install this mod, and this mod, and this mod. I'm like, it's just want to play Oblivion! I'm still working on the main quest, right? So I'm working currently on the... coming to the final battle. So we've got to, at least I'm trying to remember where it is on the main quest, but I'm trying to get allies for Bruma so that we can take on the huge gate. And so this quest line basically just has you explore the province. You go to like all the major towns and you do these quest lines and you gain the favor of the various leaders of the towns, and then they assist Bruma in taking out the big gate. I think after that is Paradise, but I forget. Anyway, I think I'm getting close to the end. And then when I'm done with that, I want to do Shivering Isles, because I've never done Shivering Isles before. And everything's kind of Sheogorath-y lately. So, is there latency? Is there like big stream latency? It doesn't. I'm just like checking the. Oh, it looks fine frame wise. Anyway, I'm gonna give kind of like a. I've only done the beginning of the Sheogorath quest, so I can't really say much in terms of spoilers. There's really nothing kind of there. There's really not much. The general like plot line of the quest line is essentially that for some reason Sheogorath wants to try being a mortal and is able to like cast out his power and put it in a receptacle and experience life like anyone else. And apparently that involves eating a lot of cheese. I'm kind of hoping that this questline goes a bit more into interesting places. But I do like the way it's set up, I like the areas that it's giving you, There's some neat little extra areas to explore. because putting new content into base game ESO doesn't really sound interesting to me generally, because it means that you're just retreading old ground. But the thing about putting new content in base game ESO means that they like to take base game areas that you're used to and add little extra chambers to them, right? So it's like, here's an extra chamber in the Hall of the Dead or in this ancient Khajiit temple or something like that. And it's like you just kind of, they just kind of add more to something that was already there. And obviously that added content is a lot more detailed and more professional because it's modern ESO compared to 2014 ESO. So I think that makes it a little better, because like you never know like what fresh new kind of like asset you're going to see in a certain way. I think it makes it nice. So I enjoyed what I saw in this quest line. I think it was pretty fun in terms of the direction, the area. I didn't have any glitches, so that was good. But in terms of like meat of interest, I think the general thing they're kind of hoping on is that you're like, it's Sheogorath, it has cheese, I'm happy. But for me, I like to really get into the nitty gritty of Sheogorath, so I'm kind of hoping that we visit some more interesting areas. Because like right now there's like this kind of after the first, well, I guess I don't know if I should say that, but I guess very very minor spoilers for the first quest of the Sheogorath quest line. After you retrieve a piece of cheese from Skyrim, you have to face off against a Daedrat, right? A Daedra, like in Skyrim, the Hall of the Dead. And Sheogorath is like, well, why was a Daedra there? You know, that wasn't a Skeever, it was a Daedra. So he's kind of going like, obviously someone Daedric is trying to ruin my mortal vacation, right? And so he's like trying to theorize who it could be. And I'm sitting there thinking, if it's a Daedric prince, I'm kind of tired of like constant Daedric princes, you know? It's just a constant Daedric princes all the time. I don't know if it is a Daedric prince or if he's just paranoid. Maybe it's something else, but like, I'm tired of warring Daedric princes. It kind of happens really, really often. As much as I do like certain princes having the spotlight, you know, it's like, oh, it'd be cool, like if it was Periite or something like that. I think that'd be neat, but for me, you gotta have like a really good reason for it, because otherwise it just kind of feels like we don't know what enemies to give you, so we're just gonna keep throwing Daedra at you. I don't know. I also I'm coming off of like yesterday I was doing Zareth Var's quest line, you know? I'm almost done with Zareth Var, the companion. And look, I'm sorry, that quest line is like top tier ESO, especially with the challenge difficulty. I mean, it's not like a main quest-esque where you got like all the effects and, you know, crazy drama things, but for being like a companion quest, it was really, really good. And I still have like I've got the final bit to do, so maybe that would even be cooler than the one that I did. But like in terms of interesting characters, like not a lot of it's not trying to be funny constantly. The drama is like very, very steeped in the lore, you know, like the religious differences between Zareth Var and the Inquisitors, and the reason why the Inquisitors just can't trust him. And it's just like, it's really meaty. It feels like the Hrothgar questline in a way, because it was like, you know, these religious differences that cause people to do things, and since it gives a more nuanced view of pre-established lore, those who already know Khajiit mythology and stuff like that are feeling like, oh yeah, I know what this is about. Like, I feel like my knowledge is coming in handy here. So I really do enjoy that. So it's really hard to beat that questline. I just really like it when it's not too silly. because I think that Elder Scrolls has lots of silly, and silly is a main part of the Elder Scrolls. But sometimes you just can get a little bit too silly, and you need to kind of get a little bit more dirty. Like we did the Such quest in the West Weald last week. I believe it was last Sunday or Saturday. So we did Such quest, right? And it's that little city that's to the very western end of the West Weald. And the thing about Such is that I'm pretty sure it was a planned city for Elder Scrolls 4, but I think it was not included. So ESO added it and then decided to explain why it's not there later on. And the reason is because it gets completely wiped out by a crazy vampire. And so the quest explains a thing about the lore that might have been confusing some people. And it also literally just nothing but drama. I mean, it wasn't complex. It was very simple, but it was nothing but drama. I mean, there weren't a lot of marvelly quips or anything. It was just plain old this guy's really evil and we gotta freaking kill him. Which I like. I mean, again, I do enjoy ESO's comical habits. It's great. It's really good when you just make sure to space it out, right? For example, Aarox, the Mutilator, classic. Literally, I have no idea why they haven't brought back Aarox, because I think that he's a really interesting character. His story was interesting, but his whole dynamic is obviously hilarious. And I think he was a really interesting character to have during a questline like that. That was the Deadlands DLC. And then you have the other side of the spectrum where you get stuff like Rigurt the Brash. And I'm sorry for any Rigurt the Brash fan people out there, but I don't like Rigurt the Brash. I just cannot stand him. The reason being, obviously what I said before about things being really comical all the time, but also that he really kind of lowers the perspective of what people think of Nords, you know? How many Nord reoccurring characters are there in ESO? He's the only one I can think of. And he is Nords aren't the smartest. Usually they think with their swords and axes before they think with their brains, right? And they really like mead, right? Okay. That happens often. But with Rigurt, they take that and they crank it to 11, right? The guy is literally so stupid. He speaks in the third person, like a caveman. I mean, Nords don't do that. I mean, this guy's just a very special person, you know? Maybe he was fun, once, but, then he kept getting reused, and I was like, can we have a Nord character that is reoccurring, that, feels awesome? Because Nords can be awesome. They can be really, heroic warriors. And so, Zos can be kind of hit and miss when it comes to Nord, specifically when they do Rigurt the Brash. However, I've always had very, very positive things to say about Elder Scrolls Online Greymoor, because Greymoor was so good. Greymoor and the Reach, so good, because the Nords, you had some funny sweet roll stuff and mead stuff in there too, but you can't, you gotta have sweet rolls and mead, right? You have to have it. But it didn't get carried away. The Nords felt like real people, diverse. They even got into the interesting religious beliefs of the clever women and clever man, and how they ascribed them the more ancient deities. And then also on the same end, you can kind of learn about how worship in solitude is starting to kind of be influenced by imperial influence over time. And so they have they've got a priest of Archay in there, and it's interesting in that way. Anyways, they treat Nords as competent people. Everyone that you meet is pretty much a normal person, but they also are hardy and tough. you know, because that's what Nords are. So both Greymoor and the Reach, just very, very good. I think they handled them perfectly. I don't remember if Regurt's even in those DLCs. I don't think so. But I always liked them. And just saying, those DLCs are going to be made free later on this year. If I read the schedule correctly, that is still scheduled despite all of the terrible things happening right now. Greymoor and the Reach will be made free for all players, I think, in Q4. So that would be like probably season 2. That'll be November 9th, 2026, because it'll be really close to Skyrim's 15th anniversary, which is on the 11th. So, if you don't have those DLCs, one, this wouldn't be a great time to buy them because, well, I mean, I guess you could if you want, because you get them really early, but they're going to be free in November. And with that, they get the Antiquity system, so that's going to be awesome too. But like those DLCs, in my opinion, great. Like, I mean, like there's maybe some, not all the side quests like hit the same way, but you know, I don't think any DLC is completely perfect. But I'm very happy with Greymoor, and I feel like Greymoor, like 2020's content, was a turning point for ESO in terms of how they learned how to do things better. Like the dungeons, they leaned more towards secret bosses than they used to. Unhallowed Grave, I feel like was monumental in changing Zos's perspective on dungeons. And Greymoor, I think, was kind of their first example of trying to make a DLC like diverse, you know, because like you've got like Somerset and Elsewhere, and they're all very pretty, but they're pretty much the same environment all the way through. However, with Greymoor, they were like, well, what if we gave you half above ground, half underground, right? And they did the same with the Reach, obviously, because it was the same kind of vibe. And then they did Blackwood, which was half Cyrodiil, half Blackmarsh. And then did High Isle after that, which was half like Castle Island, half Rainforest Sea Island. And then Necrom was after that, which was half Morrowind, half Apocrypha. And Gold Road, they did, you know, the Westfield is all like fall colors and everything, contrasting against the Dawnwood and the Wildburn, you know. So I feel like Greymoor kind of revolutionized how they went about doing their chapters, you know, ongoing. So I think it was a really big deal. Also, Greymoor has like, I think like it's got really good public dungeons. The overland for Greymoor, like above ground, is really, really good, and especially if you're a huge fan of Skyrim, you've played it a bunch, I feel like it would be pretty rewarding to experience. Also, this goes for the Reach as well. But in my opinion, Blackreach, like underneath the map, the second half, I don't know if it's bigger or not, but it's just, I don't know, it's so well done, you know, like they really learned how to pull off an underground like a cavern without making it look kind of like Fang Lair, because Fang Lair, which came out pretty early on, is a dungeon in Bankarai, and it all takes place in a huge underground cavern in the Dwemer city of Arkzanfung. The thing is that this cavern kind of looks like the textures and everything are very smooth, and it just looks kind of meh. I mean, I'm sure it was okay for the time, but like when you contrast that against Blackreach, it is just so well textured. Like everything, you just see like layers of rock, and like you'll see like an arch of stone, and then more stones and crystals behind it. And like every time I look up, it's just honestly, it couldn't be done better in my opinion. So I think they did a great job on that. And the same goes for the Reach, because they also have Blackreach under the Reach, and that's also a very, very neat zone with one of my favorite locations in the entire franchise. So, yeah, great content. Great content. I think people are going to enjoy it a lot. Also, the Antiquity system, which everyone loves. Who doesn't love the antiquity system? Um... Okay, I'll go until 1, like at the latest. And then I'll charge until 2:30. You know, a good way to exercise is to get full body tracking in VR chat. You know, because like I've been standing this like whole time. I mean, I've been sitting a little bit, but I've been standing for so freaking long. Like this is literally actually me standing. Oh boy, and I've been walking a lot today too. You know what? Okay. And you're probably thinking, you're sinking into the floor. That looks weird. Okay. So, I guess more ESO news. Because you guys aren't tired of hearing about that. They have explained that the Storm events that they had planned for Skyrim at the end of this year are moving towards, I believe, early 2027. So, we're gonna have to wait a little bit for those. But I feel like that might be a pretty okay move. In fact, it might even be better than what was originally planned in a way, because whereas I feel like ESO might start losing some player numbers at the end of the year, I think that they're definitely going to be going up in 27 with the addition of well, actually, I don't know, actually. Because the thing is, though, is that whereas they probably won't be getting, we won't be getting, like, a bunch of fresh new things. We will be getting those new those DLCs added to base game, which will bring in a lot of new players, and those new players will probably sustain player number for a while. And then as soon as those new players start losing interest, that is when the Rime Gales events start coming in, right? So like November 2026 is where players start to kind of like get into the game more, because Greymoor and the Reach are free. They start doing all that content, right? And I feel like the original plan was to release Greymoor and the Reach and release the Rime Gales around the same time, like maybe a little bit after. I feel like that probably might have been the wrong call, because I feel like people should focus on Greymoor and the Reach, and I feel like players should be given time to enjoy that content before being given like some kind of new event that like is like, okay, well, why are we doing these? So giving them time to enjoy those DLCs, and then like in early 2027 introducing a new way to kind of push them back in might be the best call. I think that might be healthy for the game. Usually, I'm like reviewing, I'm in VR chat reviewing dev streams and giving updates and thoughts and stuff. And usually, I'm a bit more peppy and excited. But obviously, last month was just the worst. It was the worst. It was so hard. And it's still hard, obviously, but... So, usually it's a bunch of good news, and now it's just kind of like, Isref... Maybe it's a bit dramatic, but do you guys remember, like, in Reach, when, like, Carter's talking to Kat, and she's, like, asking him for, like, information, and he says, you want to know if we're losing? And she goes, I know we're losing. I want to know if we've lost. And that's kind of the feeling that like I've been like trying to deal with in the past month, where it's just kind of like things are looking really, really bad, and it's like I know that things are looking bad, but like, is it like so bad they're not being honest with us, or is it just normal bad, or not normal bad, but is it just like survivable bad? Because survivable bad is not as bad as fatal bad. I think that this is survivable bad. You know, I think that being Doomer is not just unhealthy, but that's just stupid, because everything that we're seeing points towards a very rough future for the game, but not a non-existent one. But it did get pretty rough after a while, right? I mean, like, there's a lot of questions. Like, what kind of writers are they going to introduce into the game? You know, like, will they understand the general vibe of the franchise? Like, what is, like, if are they going to introduce a new musical composer, or are they going to just replay tracks that we already have over the course of who knows how long? There's a lot of questions. I think my biggest concern was over, obviously over, like, lore and how that's going to be handled. And after, I'm pretty sure I learned that Michael Zanke is still there. And if Zanke is still there, then I'm pretty sure that means that at least the lore has a filter. So it's like, even if they get like a writer that doesn't fully understand, or maybe makes some mistakes, Zanke will kind of like catch it in a net and be like, nah, you can't do that. I don't know for sure, but I think that's the case. So yesterday, you might remember that I rated Haro. Haro was going over some ESO stuff in the forums, and this is something that I don't do because personally I just don't feel like I would be able to. I don't want to go to the forums. I don't, literally, this sounds weird, I think, as a lore guy, I don't go to lore spaces, and I don't go like to the ESO forum spaces. So, he was there, and he was reading someone's take. Someone said that they feel like ESO should stop all content until 2028, except for the class refreshes. I'm sorry, hold on. So basically they were saying, just do the class refreshes and put every other content on hold. So their idea for this was to essentially say, Hold on, I can actually close the door over there. What the frick? I can use the force. Oh my god. So he was saying, okay, well, take every developer in the game right now. There's about 200 different developers who are doing various things. He was saying, like, take a lot of them and teach them how to do everything in the game. You know, make them jack of all trades, right? So someone that works in sound effects, have them also work in, the department that might handle texturing. Have someone that's doing animation, have them work on, like, dungeon design or whatever. And he was like, have everyone be good at everything, and then have those people hyper-focus on every class refresh and get that done, and don't do any actual ESO content until 2028. Right? So he was basically saying, like, because you're running on fumes, focus on the important thing, which was obviously to them class refresh. Now, class refresh is important, and I'm not the person to talk to about it because I don't know shit about ESO's mechanical design. But I know that class refresh is important to people. However, I don't think it is. I don't think people are like going, hey, if we don't get this in the next like year and a half, we're done with the game. Because as far as I know, people were pretty optimistic towards the Dragon Knight refresh, right? Even I, a person who has no idea what's going on with the game, I was experiencing the Dragon Knight refresh, and I was like, this is really good, not just in terms of animation, but in terms of, like, the skills working together so well, and I was, like, adding a bunch of stuff to my character, and I was having a good time. And I even, I even, like, took on a boss and, like, survived, like, by myself. I was really loving it. So, as a tank, by the way. So, like, obviously, they did a good job with the Dragon Knight. So, I feel like a lot of people are like, hey, like, as long as you do the class refreshes right, you can take your time. Like, I think that a lot of gamers just want stuff to be done right, even if it takes a while. So, I don't think players are, like, saying, hey, only give us a class refresh. Don't give us anything else. I mean, some players might want that. But I think that, like... I'm sorry, hold on. Oh, boy. Well, maybe I should end earlier. I'm boring you guys anyway, I'm so sorry. I could literally do this for like 6 hours, but my headset wouldn't let me. So, like, I feel like ESO players would be okay with just waiting. But, like, obviously, class refresh is still 100% on their minds. It's not, like, off the table. It's just something that they're going to have to take longer to do. And I think that if it wasn't for the Dragon Knight refresh, people would be more antsy about it, but people know that they can pull it off. They can do a good job. So, yeah. Plus, the entire idea is absolutely absurd. Having to, like having the idea where you could, like, train all these people to, like, do things that weren't even close to their profession just because they really wanted a class refresh out, like, now. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, like, just have some patience. Like I have been so used to getting a zone every year, right? Every year I've been playing since 2018, you know? I got in right after Somerset, and then we had Murkmire, which I got for free. And then we had, Elsewhere the next year. We literally were getting 2 zones a year, and I was constantly getting zones, and I was so spoiled, and I was loving every minute of it. But the thing is, though, this year that stopped. No zone, except for the night market, right? No zone. And was I sad? Yes. Yeah, I do love my zones. But I recognize that that ZOS was restructuring how they were going about releasing content and how things are different now. And I can't like always have my way, even though I really, really like that stuff, right? And now, like that Skyrim zone, it's probably gonna be like Q3, maybe Q4 of 27. You know, and that's sad because it's probably gonna be Winterhold, and I really, really want Winterhold. You know, but I recognize that things aren't always the way that I want it to be. You know, these terrible things are happening, and like you're just gonna have to deal with it. And they're doing their best right now. You know, and I'm sure they're not even thinking about that zone first thing. They're probably thinking of other stuff because zone's probably not their 100% like number one priority right now. And it's my favorite thing. And you know, it's just something that I just got to deal with and say, they don't want to focus on it right now because they've got other stuff to focus on. They've got to restructure. They have a lot more priorities. And like, I feel like that's what this guy has to understand. You know? Like, there are big annoying things happening. I feel like a lot of people just aren't fully understanding. I saw someone say, not naming names, but I saw someone say that these ZOS layoffs were happening because the devs didn't listen to his advice, and they like got what they deserved because they didn't follow his obviously godlike perspective. You know, it's like the nerve of some of these people. Literally no awareness. You know, it's like literally even if ZOS was like probably in its Somerset age, this shit would have still happened because it wasn't because of how ESO's doing. You know, everyone was hit by this. BGS was hit by this. You know, like so many studios were just washed away in the flood. And this guy feels like the complaints he gave to the devs were like the reason why they were let go. You know, and like the person's a big name. I'm not gonna say it, but like, so obviously he thinks that his opinion was worth more. He's like, they didn't listen to me, and I'm a big name. I know what I'm talking about. It's like, no. Like this is beyond that, you know. If you notice, a lot of the employees that were laid off, which surprised a lot of people, by the way, a lot of the employees that were laid off, really, really big names, were big because they had been around for so long, right? Like just so many people that we've known for so long just gone. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's probably related to why they were let go, right? As you spend longer in the business, you cost more. You've got more promotions. You've got more raises. Suddenly, you're being paid so much that your higher-ups are probably like, we could probably make do with, you know, someone that isn't accumulating so much. And I think that's why a lot of what we saw was really big names, because after almost 20 years of being with the company, Microsoft was probably like, you're costing too much, you know? And, I mean, like, we lost so many. Like, you know, especially, like, big writer names and narrative directors, and, like, they had been around since, like, for, like, everything. I mean, like, you know, I've been playing ESO since 2018. Some people have been playing since beta, or, you know, whatever. And they knew these people for way longer. And for me, it already felt like a lifetime. So it's very jarring. But that being said, with these new developers, they're not all new. No, we do have developers who are still there. You know, they still had 200 left over. Jessica Folsom, Kevin's still there. Nick is still there, Jason's still there, so they've obviously still got a lot of people, and it sounds like they're also promoting people from, promoting people who have been around for a while into higher positions, so people who probably understand how ESO works and the general vibe of the game and stuff. It's kind of like, the next generation, that kind of thing. So we do have that. It's not going to be like 100% new people. And so I think that, we can probably expect them to make some choices that are consecutive with the ESO that we've known. And I'm sure they're very, very, very stressed right now, I'm sure they're just, like, I can't help but think about, like, all the stuff that Kevin's got to do with, like, seeing on the forums and stuff like that. Like, Kevin's everywhere. He's on Reddit. He's on the forums. I think he's on, probably on Blue Sky, maybe on Twitter. And it's, like, stuff that he's got to see. Like, the terrible takes from people who don't understand, like, why any of this is happening. People who say things like, they deserved it because they didn't listen to my advice. Like, that's just got to be just, like, soul-tearing. Really. So yeah, I mean they've got a lot of they've got a lot of work to do over there, but I think that they deserve our patience. And maybe you could say they don't deserve anything, Maybe you could say, like, maybe, I mean, if you don't want to continue paying your sub, that's all your business or whatever. But as for me, I just made my first year-long subscription to ESO Plus. Not because of all this, but I would have done it anyway. But because, like, it was literally the day before all of this is when I set it up to be a year-long. It was like I think on July 5th or something. And so yeah, I mean, like, for me, I'm still here. It's just I think what we're going to be experiencing the next like 2 quarters is going to be kind of like, you might find yourself thinking, well, what am I doing? What do we do now? It's kind of going to be like the boring part of the movie, maybe not totally boring. I'm sure, like, I think PvPers, that you got White Strikes to look forward to this month, and we are going to be having Jester Festival. We're going to be having Witches, and we're going to be having New Life as usual, and we're going to be having High Seas of Tamriel, but that's been pushed a little bit to, I think, early October. But in terms of big content, I don't know. They haven't said anything about the night market either, because the night market was supposed to be slated for later this year, but the message from Nick G didn't say anything about the night market. So I'm not sure what they're going to be doing there, because I think the night market was an absolute hit, but it doesn't really necessarily, I know this doesn't fully matter, but it doesn't necessarily make complete sense to have the night market return the same way that we experienced it back in spring. Because, and I know this doesn't necessarily matter to some people, but lore-wise, it doesn't really make sense. Because technically, all of the districts are supposed to be trading each other out, and you're supposed to have new districts when the night market comes back. That's kind of like the whole thing. Unfortunately, I think they probably wish they didn't establish that lore, because now it would probably make them happier than anything just to grab the night market that they did back in spring and just shove it back in there, which they might have to end up doing. So maybe hey, literally, if it was me, I think that maybe you could take advantage of this, because here's a cool thing that you can do as a writer. I'm not much of a writer, but here's a cool thing that you can do as a writer. You take what looks like a nightmarish scenario, and you're like, what if we could, like, grow some lore from this, You could, like, take something that was, like, a mistake or whatever, and you could be like, well, what if we can use it to actually expand on this stuff, instead of, like, just saying, just ignore it. This isn't necessarily a perfect example, but back in Daggerfall, this was Arena, I think. There was a city in Blackmarsh And basically what they would do for Arena is that they would just calculate a seed, right? What they would do with Daggerfall, they calculate a computer seed and then have the computer generate the town. And I think every town is the same way, but the computer did build the layout, right? Based on an algorithm, which is really advanced for the 90s. So for a city in Blackmarsh, they ran that algorithm, right? And then a mistake happened. In front of the opening to the town, the computer had placed a blacksmithing shop right in front of the entrance, right? And it was and players who were playtesting the game were like, we can't get into the town because there's a stupid thing covering the entrance, right? And I don't remember if they made another entrance or if they fixed it, but what they decided to do was they decided to write a book about they wrote a book about this deity who punished this royal family by placing a shop in front of the entrance and blocking anyone from getting in. The royal family just proceeds to go mad and kill each other. It's a pretty interesting story. But what was the god's name? I think it's Ias the greatly agitated or something like that. It was a deity that ESO was going to expand upon, but they decided not to. At least not obviously. But they took that funny little lore, that funny little mistake, and they turned it into a book, and they put the book in the game, right? About the royal family and all that. So sometimes when there's something that's weird and something that's oh, this could be a problem, you can kinda maybe make it make sense. Oh, I mean, way better example. Do I have time to talk about this? Maybe. Way better example. The freaking, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't think of this first. The probably the best example that I can think of, maybe of all time. Pretty much the basis of Elder Scrolls metaphysics. The warp in the West, right? So, I don't believe that they had any of this designed before they wrote all this warp they wrote all the stuff in Morrowind. But in the Elder Scrolls 2, at the end of the game, you're given a choice. You have a special totem that activates a god robot, and everyone's asking you for that totem so that they can have the god robot, right? So at the end of the game, Bethesda thought, it would be really cool if we allowed the player to choose, right? I mean, what's a game without letting a player be who they want to be? So let the player choose. Let them choose who gets the totem, and let them choose who gets the giant robot, right? So that's what they did. Bethesda literally let the player choose the ending. And then Elder Scrolls 3 comes out. Actually, this is probably Redguard, which was 1998, so 2 years later, because I don't know if they wrote this into the Pocket Guide, but when Elder Scrolls 2 ended and that was all done, Bethesda was like, wait, how does this work? Because we just wrote an open end to a game that has to have an ending, right? It has to have an ending. They were like, we just ended up the game was supposed to have like in Arena there's a designated ending, but it doesn't have that in Daggerfall. And I don't know if they did this intentionally or not, but I don't think they did. But when either it was probably Redguard or Morrowind, so 98 or 2002, they wrote Dragon Break lore, right? So Dragon Break lore basically means the ending of Elder Scrolls 2 is known as the Warp in the West, which is a Dragon Break. And essentially a Dragon Break is when every single thing that could possibly happen, all the endings that, all the people that you could have given the totem to, it was given to every single one of them. They all got the totem at the same time because time stopped working. Time was no longer linear A to B. Instead, it was, A to B, A to B, A to B, A to B, and Z to N to Q, because the robot was so immensely powerful that it literally shattered all of time within a certain space, right? Which is called the Warp in the West, otherwise known as the Miracle of Peace. So with this idea, they literally wrote like all this, like, they've got Dragon Breaks, Marukati Selectives, Dancing on the Tower, Ethelia, all this crazy stuff, and you can kind of all just trace it to the Bethesda going, oh shit, how do we have an ending for Daggerfall? How do we tell everyone what happened if we let the player choose? Because I feel like they probably didn't plan it out. That was back in the early days, and I have no evidence that they had that kind of stuff planned. So I'm pretty sure that was them trying to rectify what was kind of an oopsie and turn it into like some of the founding like structuring of Elder Scrolls metaphysics, which is really interesting. And I could go on and on and on about that. Speaking of which, I had a thought, and I posted this in my my Telegram chat. I've got an Elder Scrolls one. So here's my thought really, really fast. I'm going to leave you guys with this before I end up rating off. But, so, here's something. The big Dwemer robot, the Numidium, right? The Dwemer built the Numidium, and it's designated as a tower. So it's basically like it's a metaphysical aspect that kind of keeps the Mundus stable, right? And the Dwemer built it. So, before the Dwemer even built the Numidium, a Numeril, who was an Aelid, like, archmage, or whatever, he, so many years before, had built the Staff of Towers, and the Staff of Towers had a segment on it for the Numidium before it was even built, right? And it's like, how does that make any sense? So, I mean, obviously, I think a good way to describe it is probably that the towers, in a metaphysical sense, probably all exist at the same time, but they don't like exist physically until created, right? So I would assume that the towers like probably exist upon the inception of the Mundus, and they can be deconstructed when their stone dies, but they probably existed just as soon as everything started. So here's where it gets really interesting, right? So when you're collecting the pieces of the Staff of Towers in Elder Scrolls Online, you have this little talking skull with you, the Augur of the Obscure, who leads you to these like special like portals and stuff. So when you collect the piece for the Numidium, he points it out. He says, how did a Numeril even know about a tower that didn't even exist yet? And he's like, brain explosion. Like, how does that make any sense, right? So that made me think, and I was like, wait a minute. When was the Numidium even a tower? Because when the Numidium was being built, even after the Staff of Towers was being constructed, when the Numidium was being built, it never had a stone. The stone was supposed to be the Heart of Lorkhan, but the Heart of Lorkhan was already a stone that belonged to Red Mountain, right? So when did the Numidium even have a stone? At the time of ESO, it never did. It was basically like, was it even a tower at that point? Would it even be considered a tower if it never had its own stone? The only time that the Numidium gets a stone is years and years and years after ESO even happens, when Tiber Septim is given the Numidium from the Tribunal, because they're like, we don't want any part of the shit that you got going on. The Tribunal sends him the Numidium, and Zurin Arctis, his battle mage, probably the most powerful battle mage of all time, ends up creating a battery for the Numidium called the Mentella. Huge, like, soul gem that Zurin Arctis connects his soul to, and it basically works as, like, the ultimate power source. It's like a big green gem, like a master emerald or something. And that would be considered the Numidium's stone. Either that or the Totem of Tiber Septim. But either way, those didn't exist until way, way, way after ESO even happened. So, like, even when ESO takes place, it's considered a tower even though it never had a stone, which is very interesting to me. And then when it did have a stone, it literally probably only lasted for a certain amount of time before it was destroyed. Of course, the Mentella you know, I guess it would have still been a tower for a while. But it wouldn't even start being a Metella until Tiber Septim showed up. So I guess by the time of ESO, would it even be considered a tower at that time? Metaphysically, yes, because I guess when you consider maybe all of time and possibility being maybe understood, they existed since the dawn of time. But I don't know. I mean, does that mean that like the invention of the Mentella would be a fixed point? Because otherwise, how would you have stability in the Mundus? Oh God, I'm starting to get carried away. Because I mean, like, here's the thing: if you consider linear time layered on top of infinite possibility, right? So you've got Akatosh versus his madness. Then basically all possibilities can occur depending on what decisions are being made, right? That's what Athelia is all about. So, like, if you've done a Xandar's quest, it kind of gives you a good example of this. You know, you meet a Xandar's possibilities, right? A Xandar could be a florist. Maybe he could be a farmer or something, right? Because in different paths, he made different choices, and those different choices led him to different things. So, the question is, are the towers points that can't be argued? Like, does Walkbrass have to be made? Does the Mentella have to be made? Does Walkbrass, like, in some other timeline, have a different stone? Was the Heart of Lorkhan ever used for Walkbrass? Is Walkbrass's existence like a fundamental has to exist thing? And if that's the case, like, how can a realm without magic work? Because if there's a realm without magic, like they mention in the Gold Road storyline, Gold Road Necrom, then, like, how would that reality have any kind of stability if it didn't have towers? Because you would need magic for the towers, most likely. I don't know. My brain's hurting. It's weird. I'm not really the best person to go to for this kind of stuff. I'm kind of a baby brained when it comes to, like, tower lore and whatnot, but I still just I find this observation very confusing. Okay, I'll go for like 5 more minutes so that I can get to 2 hours. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna find someone to raid to. I'm probably just gonna raid you guys to Streaming Arzu, because I gotta do stuffs. Let me go ahead and set that up. But yeah, they got Switch for being here. I would really like to do these kinds of streams more often, but I know they're not really preferable, so I probably won't. I don't really talk to many people during the week. My job is pretty much about being quiet, so I mean, I guess I could probably phone call with more people, but ugh, that was ugh. I just hit a Wi-Fi snag. Also, maybe I like lore talking. I like lore talking in VR because I talk with my hands a lot, and unfortunately that leads me to do this sometimes, unintentionally. Trust me, this is not on purpose. This is just something that I do. Like, I'm like weighing things. Like, oh, maybe, you know, it's me saying maybe. There's a thing that I do. I gotta plug this in because I have to play with somebody in a bit. thank you guys so much for being here. It's appreciated. I will see you probably at like 7 p.m. We're going to be doing more VR chat as like a family, hoping to get kind of an earlier start. And then we're going to, just kind of hang out in ESO. We're not going to be continuing the Shagoraz quest line probably until next week because I want to kind of keep it going. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun so far. I know I said like that there's not like much going on, but I didn't really expect there to be much going on. But if it does link to the Winterhold plot, I'm gonna be very interested. Like very, very interested. Assuming that there is a Winterhold plot. Alright. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for being here. Bye.